I have genuinely loved so much and so consistently since I've started. And I really hope that this feeling never leaves. Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I think I start off every video saying the same thing, but this time it's actually been a really long time. My last video was July of 2024 and we are now in April of 2025. So it actually has been a pretty long time and there are reasons for that. I've had a pretty tough year last year and it's kind of continued into this year, but we'll talk about that later. But we're gonna try to do a knit and chat in this video. I'm gonna see if I can knit while I'm talking, and I'm just gonna catch you guys up. So grab some coffee, grab some tea, grab your fiber arts craft, and let's get started. So before I show you my finished garments, I would like to say that I started this channel to keep track of my progress and to kind of have something that I can look back onto and see like my memories and my whole journey and just kind of like footage of my life through knitting. And because of things that happened last year, I just didn't keep up with it. And aside from not keeping up with it, I also have this idea that I have to have like the vibe needs to be right and the scenery needs to be right, and because of my job and me moving around, I don't always have the ability to change my like atmosphere. And so it kind of just depends on where I go and if I can find a good spot to film, which is kind of ridiculous because I watch other people's knitting videos and I don't care where they're at. I just watch the video for the content. So it shouldn't matter where I film, but for me, I'm such a vibe kind of person and like the atmosphere needs to be right. And so I feel like if it doesn't look good or if the lighting's not good, then I just don't feel like filming and don't feel like it'll be good enough. But that's kind of been a little bit ridiculous to think that way because since I haven't had that, that opportunity, like I've missed out on posting and connecting with other fiber artists, and like it's just been holding me back, as well as the struggle that I went through last year and kind of still in the beginning of this year. I've let those things affect me, and it shouldn't, because now I don't have I don't have a way to look back and say like, this is what was going on through my life, and like this was, um, I just don't have that, and I've missed out on it, and I shouldn't let those things bother me, but they have, and I'm gonna try to not let them, because we do need to just keep moving forward. And whatever's going on in my life, I am really grateful that I have knitting. And so even though I've struggled a lot, I've still knitted. And so it's really helped me. I just wish that I had, made the content and the videos to kind of like show it, and so also, because I haven't kept up with the videos, I don't remember a lot of the information that I would have liked to have shared if I had just finished the garment. So usually when I finish a piece, like all the information is still fresh in my mind, so I can give you guys a really accurate description of my experience knitting the garment. And because I don't remember everything, I can't give you guys an accurate, experience. So or, you know, as much information as I would like to give. So I'm going to really try to not let those things affect me and not let the vibe and the atmosphere affect me too much, because at the end of the day, what really matters is the content that I'm giving you, like the quality of information that I'm giving, as well as the joy that I have by doing this. So either way, I still have a good time in knitting and also talking about my pieces and how they came out, whether or not they came out great or not so great. So yeah, just want to mention that and let you guys know that the next couple projects, I may not have as much information as I would have if I had made the video after I had finished the project. So yeah, sorry about that, but we keep moving forward. So, all right. So my first top I talked about in my last video, and I think I was almost done with the top. So I don't know if I think I gave like a lot of information on the top, but I'm still going to include it in this video because I did finish it after I filmed that video. So this is the twisted loop top, and I really love how this top came out. Hopefully you guys are able to see it. This top fits so perfectly on my body. Like, I'm like just so happy with the fit. I really do love it. And I think a lot of people on Ravelry mentioned that this top was not very bra friendly. However, I don't think I have that problem. I just wear a strapless bra and you don't see anything on through like the armhole. So for me, it's literally perfect. I just wear the strapless bra and you don't see anything. And not even like a side boob or anything. So like it's really perfect for me. I did use a different size needle than what the instructions required because I just didn't have the correct size. And I didn't feel like buying a new pair of needles. So I just used a size up. I will mention it. I'll write it in the description what I used. I just don't remember. So the yarn is from the Mindful Creators, and I really love the yarn. Like, I'm so happy with the top and the yarn, and I just love the specs, and I just love, you know, everything about this top. I think it's, you know, it literally, it's like it's made for me, and even the fact that like it really is made for me. So yeah, this top, I'm a size 32B, so if you have a similar body shape to mine and you'd like to make the top literally like mine, then just use the same size needles and a fingering weight yarn, and I think you'll be fine. I think you'll have a very, actually it's very bra friendly for me, so yeah. I think this was the first time I learned how to do an I-cord edge. You probably can't really see it, but I genuinely really liked this top a lot, and I had fun making it. I didn't have any issues with like the going, like a lot of times if I like knit purl, it like bothers my hands. But since this is, I think it's 3 knits and then 2 purls, it's not that bad. So I really like the top. I wear it all the time whenever it's hot. So I'll put it on for you guys to see, you know, how it looks on me. All right, so this is the top. Here, I'll like stand up, I guess, so you can see. But it's pretty much, see how you can't see like the bra at all? I think like down here's like the bra, and this is like pretty much covered. So I genuinely really love how this top came out. I think it's literally made for me, which I find funny to say because I did literally make it for myself, but sometimes you make things for yourself and it doesn't necessarily have the same fit that you had in your mind or how it would come out. But this, I love this top. I really love like how it fits on me and on my body, and I think it's a great top. I think the pattern's great. It was pretty easy to understand. So yeah, I think, yeah. So I'm really happy with the top. And I think I'm just gonna wear this because that brown sweater that I'll talk about later was getting a little bit hot. So I think I'll just wear this for now. So the next top that I made is the Poisoned Apple top by Lily Kate France. And this top, I wore it all the time during the fall. So this was my favorite like outfit to wear. I wore this top with brown pants and I had like yellowish earrings, and it was just a perfect fall vibe top. I even went apple picking with this top on, which was very fun because I don't remember, I think I've done apple picking once in my life. It was very fun. So this top is made from the Fuzzy Peach Fibers Midsummer colorway, and I had purchased the DK weight yarn as well as the mohair in the same colorway, and when I started working on this part here, like this part, I had used that same colorway and was realizing that it did not match. So for whatever reason, the mohair yarn picked up a more yellowish tinge to it, and it, instead of having like how this is, I would say this is more of a purplish yellow top, that mohair was very yellowish. And so I had posted a picture on Instagram and was like, does this match? Knowing full well that it did not. But I just wanted a confirmation opinion, and so it definitely didn't. And a couple people responded and was like, no, this does not work. So, and I think this lighting makes the top look really, I don't know, really yellowish. I'm sorry about the lighting, but it's not. I would say this is like, to me, this is more like purplish pink, and it does have obviously the yellow, but the purple really stands out for me, and I'm very happy that I had this mohair. So this is Oh Dang by the Farmer's Daughters yarn. And my mom had bought that yarn for me when she went to Rhinebeck, so it was in my stash. And I'm just really happy that I have it, and I'm really happy with the yarn choice, and yeah, I'm really content with this top. The only thing, and I'm sure you've noticed it by now, is I have not gotten a button. So this is just a pin back here. I have not found a button to attach to the top. So I've just had a pin inside, and when I wear it, nobody sees it because the pin's inside. But this was a really fun top as well. Lily Kate France does a really great job of writing her patterns. Everything from her patterns is so easily understood. And so I had learned how to make this pleat. And I think that's the only thing that's like new that I learned was the pleat. And so that was very fun. to do. And so she again explains it very well, and I think she even has a video tutorial on how to do it. So this was a very fun top. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed wearing it because all the time in the fall I had this outfit and I thought I looked very cute. So I'm very happy with it. The following project that I completed was my first pair of socks. And these socks were an absolute joy to knit. So they're my first socks, and I made them with my favorite colorway so far. Like, I love Sorella's anti-hero colorway from her Taylor Swift collection. And when I had made my brother's sweater, I was like, I need to have something in this yarn because I absolutely love it. And when she had, I think she had done her Taylor Swift collection like twice, and so the second time around I bought more of the anti-hero yarn because I really love the yarn. So I made this sock, and hopefully the lighting really, like, I think the lighting is doing it a very good justice. So yay. So this is the weekend sock, and that pattern, if you purchase it on Ravelry, it has 3 patterns within it. So it has a Friday sock, it has a Saturday sock, and a Sunday sock. And these are the Sunday socks. And I love it. Love, love, love. This pattern was easy to memorize. And since it was my first pair of socks, it was really fun to like have such a small little project that could fit into my bag. So I would bring it to work and knit my sock during lunchtime. So that was always nice. So I had like my own little peace and quiet while I was knitting at work during lunch. So the sock pattern was, like I said, very easy to memorize. So after you do a couple of these rows, it's pretty simple. You just repeat it over and over again. It's like every 4 you do something. And so this part was just very easy to memorize. The blue here is Welcome to New York from Sorella's Taylor Swift collection. Now, the only complaint that I have about this is I've worn this sock one time, just once, and I don't know what happened, but it's like this sock. So this is one side. This sock looks like it's shrinking or something. Let me see, am I holding the right pair? Yeah. Like something happens and it just like does this weird shape here that, you know, I didn't have that on this one. And also it looks like it's felted. I don't know. I can't tell if you can tell from how I'm holding it. But yeah, let me see. How come? Oh, I can't. Why doesn't it show on here? Oh, here. Right there. You see? So I've worn it one time and it looks like it's felted, and it did this weird shape here. Like it wasn't like that before. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. I did wear these with boots on, so I don't know if like the friction of the boot made this like this, or if this is the type of yarn that I used. But if somebody could tell me why this happened, because see, you know, it doesn't even make any sense because this side of it is perfectly fine. This does not look felted at all. And it's not like it's just the front, it's literally the side. So why does one side, because when I'm wearing the sock, right, I'm wearing it like this, why does this side felted and this side not? So if anyone can tell me an explanation, that would be great, because I really don't want to make more socks and have this problem. So after finishing these socks, I went on to Ravelry to download more sock patterns because I really enjoyed knitting the socks. And I hope to have hundreds of pairs of socks because I really love knitting them. And I don't want to, use a type of yarn that may cause this problem after literally wearing the sock only one time. And I know that they're just socks and they just go on your feet, but it's kind of weird to me that it looks like I've worn this one time and it looks like I've had these for 10 years. Like, I don't understand. Even though the sock has like felted or looks felted, I'm really happy and proud of my first pair of socks because they fit really well. So yeah, I'm really happy with them. And the pattern again I really highly recommend the pattern. I'm super happy with, like, it was easy to understand and again, easy to memorize, and it was just a lot of fun. I had a great time knitting these socks. I did not have that problem where sometimes people say like if they knit one sock, then they have to like immediately cast on the second because if not they won't finish the sock. I casted on the second pair out of pure joy to like literally redo. Like I just loved knitting this sock so much. I was like, I want to do it again. So it wasn't out of like, oh, I have to knit this and I have to get this done. If not, I won't finish it. No, this was a joy to knit and I'm really happy with them. And I know that you can probably tell that I did not do the helical knitting, but I like how these come out. Like I don't really care that it didn't come out. I like the little patches. So I genuinely really love my first pair of socks and I'm really happy with them. I just wish that they didn't look like they were 10 years old. So, okay. The next project was the top that I was wearing. So this sweater is a very special sweater for me. This sweater is by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's sweater number 18. And I just have to say that all around, from beginning to end, this sweater came out exactly how I wanted in every single aspect. So, when I saw the pattern, I immediately thought I wanted this sweater to look rusticy and like raw, and I feel like I captured that. So, one, the pattern is perfect. Like this is exactly what I had in mind. Two, the yarn. So the yarn is by Woolen Twine, and it is the Aran. It's the Roots Aran in the color copper. So it's a non-superwash yarn. So it's natural yarn. The color is dyed naturally, and I think that I captured exactly what I wanted to capture. A very raw, rusticy sweater, and the pattern matches perfectly with the yarn type, which matches perfectly with the color. So I am very proud of this sweater. Not only because of all the things that I just mentioned, but also because this is my first continental knitted sweater. So as you know, I learned how to knit English style, and this is the first sweater that I've made using the continental technique. So I am really proud of this sweater, and I think that people could say when they look at any of the previous tops and garments and anything that I've previously made, you could say that, well, the top looks good, like the color's nice, but if you had used a different type of yarn, it would have really elevated your sweater, like your your piece, you know? And I think the reasoning for that is because when I first started knitting, when I first picked it up, I was very like gung-ho in buying more yarn. And I was more focused on the color rather than the actual material of the like yarn, like what the yarn is made from, how it's made, all of that. And so most of my yarn in my yarn stash is non-superwash yarn that's been hand dyed because I really like the colors and I really like the fact that somebody used their hands to make the yarn. And so you get kind of these colors that aren't necessarily what you would find from, you know, somewhere else. So I was more focused on the color rather than the material of the yarn. And so for most of, like, all of my pieces are non-superwash yarn. And so I can see if somebody were to tell me, oh, you know, the color's nice or whatever, but if you had used a different material, it would have really made your piece, it would have really completed your piece and made it so much better, right? This sweater is nobody can tell me that because I literally thought exactly what I wanted I got from this piece, and I am really happy with the pattern, with the color, with the type of yarn, like literally everything about this is exactly what I wanted in every single detail, in every single aspect. So I am really happy with this sweater and I wear it all the time. I grab it all the time. And it's my first saddle shoulder construction, and it is my first time, like I learned the Italian bind off and used it for this sweater. So everything about this sweater is new for me, and it just came out so perfectly for like everything that I had in my mind. This is exactly what I wanted. So I am really happy with this sweater. So what can I tell you about it, aside from all the things that I just said? The Italian bind off, I think really, I like the look. Let me see. So let me just, I guess, stand up and show you the sweater. So let me see if you can see the Italian bind off. Not really, but so this sweater, I blocked it before finishing it because I wanted to see if I needed to knit more, because non-superwash yarn doesn't stretch out as much as superwash yarn. And since up until this point all I've used is superwash yarn, I didn't know how much it would grow and I didn't make a gauge swatch. So what I did was I knitted everything except for the cuffs and the hem, and I blocked it, and then wanted to see if I needed to knit some more. I ended up not needing to knit some more, and then I knitted the cuffs and the hem, and I haven't blocked that part. So that's why the cuffs are a little bit maybe short, but if I were to block this, it would extend it and it would be fine. So I just haven't done that. That's fine though. Like I said, I am extremely happy with this sweater. Absolutely love it. I wear it all the time. I grab it all the time. And I say I captured exactly, I really wanted like a rustic, raw looking sweater, and I think I did that. I think I did a really good job. So I'm very proud of myself. And I'm proud of myself for learning the Italian bind off. That was one of the things that I wanted to learn this year, was to knit. There's a couple of things that I want to do this year, but one of them for sure was to actually learn the Italian bind off and apply it, and so I did. So I'm really happy with this sweater. Okay, so since July, I have completed 4 projects, and I started 3 works in progress. I know, you're probably like, who is she? I thought she was a monogamous knitter. And that is still the case. So I pretty much started a project and was having problems with it, and so I put it on a permanent timeout and just left it to the side. Started another project, was also having a hard time with the project, so I again put it on a permanent timeout. And so now I'm currently working on something, and that's the only true work in progress. So I'm still a monogamous knitter. I don't have multiple things going. It's still the one project, even though the other 2 are on the needles. They're just literally casted aside because they're on the permanent timeout. So the sweater that I'm currently working on is the Waffle Loop sweater, and I am using the yarn that I thought was stolen from me. So if you remember, which I'd be really amazed if you do, because like I said, I haven't done a video in such a long time, but I believe almost 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago. Yeah. So I had ordered yarn from Fuzzy Peach Fibers and had thought that I had been robbed. I had been robbed, but I thought that what was robbed was the yarn, and I was honestly extremely stressed about that. But it ended up not being my yarn that was stolen. So the yarn that I'm using is the pumpkin spice from Fuzzy Peach Fibers, and I'll just show you what I've got so far. So far, this is what I have. And on camera, this looks very orangey, but it's obviously different. So this color that you see here, that's exactly what it looks like. So it's more of a reddish orange. So you can see there is obviously a difference. This is more like a coppery orange brown, and this is more of a reddish brown. And so it's a beautiful color. In the sun, it looks amazing. This sweater has been, well, one, you're probably wondering why on earth I am knitting a full on like fall sweater in the middle of spring. And that is a great question. The reasoning for that is because, one, I feel like it, and 2, I don't knit based off of seasons, because by the time I would finish the project, the season would be over and I would never even be able to wear it. So I just knit whatever I feel like knitting, so that way when the season comes, I already have it. I love the waffle stitching. This stitching, I love this. This is very fun for me. I love the texture. I think it's great. This is annoying. Like, I don't I don't like knitting it. Every time that I have to do a cable row, I'm like dreading it. And then when I have just knitting, like stockinette, I'm like, oh, thank God. I just have like 4 or 5 knit rows. But for whatever reason, and I don't know if this is because, so I'm gonna compare it to the Arctic Light sweater, because even though I had so many issues with that sweater, I genuinely enjoyed knitting it. I loved knitting that sweater. And I don't know if it was because I was excited to learn the different types of cables, or I don't know what it was, but even though I had problems with it, I really loved knitting it, which is why I don't mind redoing it. And so from my last video, I got a lot of people telling me like to not redo the sweater because they think that it looks, you know, fine as is. And while thank you for that, I really do appreciate all of the comments, and I'm very surprised because I open up my account and don't expect people to comment, and then people do, and I'm like, oh wait, I haven't responded to this person in who knows how long because I wasn't paying attention. But so I'm really grateful for all the comments. I really do appreciate it, and a lot of the comments did have very helpful techniques, so thank you for that. However, I'm still gonna redo it. Like I'm not gonna not redo it. I know that I can do a much better job in knitting that sweater, so I will redo it at some point. Obviously not now, but at some point I will get it done. So this sweater, I don't know if it's because it's the same cable for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 cables in the front and then 5 cables in the back. And it's just not, so each cable, right, is gonna be like some going this way, some going that way, and then some going that way, and then some going the other way, right? So it's like this way and then this way, right? I just don't see, I just don't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I love the way it looks, but I just don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it. Maybe I would like it, the process more, if it was like 1 or 2 and then this cable like in the middle and then 1 or 2 again. But doing it, you know, in a row like that, it's a little bit like confusing for me to be like, oh wait, am I going this way or am I going the other way? And I actually made a mistake in one of these cables. So instead of the cable going in the opposite, okay, so I made a mistake and had this cable going this way and then this one also going in the same direction. So then the cable was off, and I didn't notice it until I was about to do the following cable movement again, and I was like, oh, why does this look like this? And I'm like, how do I fix this? How do I know where the turn is supposed to be, like when I'm supposed to put these 2 stitches in the front or in the back? And I'm gonna have to go down like 5 rows, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, there's no way that I'm going to frog the whole thing, because I'm gonna lose the stitches. Like I'm gonna not get the part where you're supposed to like do the cable part, where you're supposed to put the stitches in the front and the back, or the front to the back, or the front or the back to the front. That I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to solve this. Like I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm not gonna frog it. I'm just gonna undo just this section here. And so that's what I did, and I messed around with it, and I eventually figured it out. But I spent probably 2 days trying to figure out how to undo it without fully undoing the entire section. And I'm really glad that I figured it out. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So the one thing that I will say about this sweater is, if you decide to make this pattern, I would pay attention to okay, so you start off, you know, knitting like the back, and then you knit a portion of the back, and then you knit a portion of the front, And I think you do these increases. And when you do the increases and then eventually connect, you have, let's see, how can I explain this? Okay, so this is your armhole here, and you're gonna do some increases, or some decreases maybe. And you're gonna have to connect the front and the back. So when you do that, pay attention to how your stitches end, because as you see here, you have this like all knit, and then this is all knit, but then it becomes purls. And so then you have this weird purl section here and this knit, you know, for the waffle texture. So I would pay attention to how, so that it flows better and looks neater, what's going on in those sections where you're increasing or decreasing. And you've got, see how this side looks a little bit better because you have this, and then you have this knit and this knit and this knit, whereas this one here, it goes missing, you see? So I don't know, I think, because in the pattern, it's written as like, oh, do knit one, purl one as established. But when you're increasing, there's nothing established because you just made a new stitch. So you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to knit it or am I supposed to purl it? So I think that was not very clear for me. And so then because of that, I'm just trying to sit there and figure out, well, am I supposed to knit here? Am I supposed to purl here? And what am I supposed to do? And so I have where I believe that this side is the only side that's like correct in that section. That it's like this lines up. All the other ones don't do that. This doesn't line up. This doesn't line up. So, you know, I would pay attention to that because it also affects you in this between here. It affects you here where you have this weird, you know, it would look better, I think, because you have these two purls. I think it would look better if after these two purls here, you have a whole row of knits so that it continues the waffle stitch that you're supposed to have. So instead of having this weird section here, you know, you would do a knit here. So yeah, that just kind of, because I was trying to figure out, because I felt like the instructions weren't very clear on that. And I was trying to figure it out, I was trying to do what it said. So if it said knit one, purl one as established, then I started with the knit, even though maybe for the way that I had knitted my sweater, it should have been a purl. So I would just pay attention to how your like sweater came out. And also when I joined in the round, the amount of stitches that it said for me to have, if I had that number of stitches, then it would have thrown off the knit, purl as established. So I had to like create either an extra stitch or take away a stitch. And so I would just pay attention so that you don't have the problem that I have where it just looks a little bit like it doesn't correctly flow. Yeah, so I mean, when you're wearing the sweater, I don't think it's something very like noticeable, but for me, knowing like now that I see it where I'm like, why does this look strange? I'm like, oh, this is probably the part where like I had decreased or increased, and it just, I think it was increasing. I had increased and it just didn't go, it just didn't flow. So I would pay attention to that. I I think the correct way would be if you're at the part of the cables and the next part is 2 purls, then do the knit stitch so that way that knit stitch is like part of the waffle where you just knit and you just have like that stockinette stitch. So that's what I would do so that you don't have that weird too many purls, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, just write in the comments and I'll try to explain it better. So, okay, I think this will be a better explanation. So, in this section here, let's pretend that you're doing the cables, and after the cables, you have 2 purls here. Make sure that that following stitch is going to be a knit stitch. That way you don't have this weird, you know, because the waffle stitch is 2 purls and then a knit and then 2 purls and then a knit, right? So you have a purl here, so make sure that this next stitch will be a knit stitch so that this row here is all knit, and that way you don't have that weird too many, this, instead of it being like this, it looks like that. So hopefully that makes sense. So other than that, I'm really looking forward to wearing this sweater, and I'm looking forward to doing the sleeves and just having the waffle stitch because I really like the waffle stitch. I think it's a fun textured stitch and I really like it. So, all right, now that I think I've talked about all of those projects that I've finished and worked on, I would like to talk about my life and knitting. So, as you know, I have had a hard time last year and it's continued on to this year. And, you know, there was like a couple months ago, I thought that I was going to be able to accomplish a goal of mine that I've had for the past 4 years now. And I was really close to achieving that goal and it didn't end up happening. So it just really brought me down even more. And it just, you know, became like another setback. And honestly, it feels like that meme of DW from Arthur when she's like, oh look, another closed door. That's literally how I feel. It's like everything was going great and then things happened and it just thing after like something after something after something just keeps on happening and it just it's just really frustrating. So, but I am not going to give up and I'm gonna, you know, keep trying because that's all you can really do is just keep trying and not let it get to you and not let it interfere or bother you because life just keeps on going and so do you. So I'm not going to give up. I'm still working on trying to achieve that goal and I'm really hoping that that goal will be achieved this year. So, and aside from that struggle, I'm really happy that I have still been knitting this entire time. So, like I said, even though I haven't made videos and haven't like updated you guys, I'm still knitting, obviously, and it's really helped me. I'm really happy that I picked up this hobby that's really not a hobby. It's literally my life. And I'm really happy that I have found something that I have genuinely loved so much and so consistently since I've started. And I have, so I think I've been knitting now for 3 years, I think. And I may put it down for a couple weeks, you know, maybe a month, and I will always pick it back up, and I always look forward to knitting. And I'm just really happy that I have this in my life. And because, like I've mentioned, usually I like something and then I get really into it, and then for some reason I stop being so obsessed over it and I find something else to obsess over. And with knitting, that hasn't happened. I have stayed consistently loving this hobby, and I'm really happy that I found this joy in this craft. And the video stopped recording, but I am so happy that I have this hobby, and it has really helped me through my struggles. And I really hope that this feeling never leaves, because I'm really happy that I found this hobby. And I'm also really happy that I'm a part of this community. I've also been able to meet, you know, friends through this hobby, and I am really grateful for that. So all around, even though I've been struggling a lot, I'm really happy that I have this hobby, and I don't plan on it ever not be part of my life. So yeah, I would say that's all I have for today to talk about. Also, my camera battery's dying, so I can't really talk anymore. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a while, so if you want to catch me up on your life and, you know, want to comment on what you're knitting, you can totally do that. I would love to hear from you guys, and I really do appreciate all of the comments that I get, because it makes me feel good to know that, you know, what I'm providing is helpful for you guys, and that you guys are helpful to me. So I'm really grateful. So thanks, and see you guys next time.